Good morning, dear children. Today we are going to start our second chapter of chemistry. Is matter around us pure? Here we will discuss pure substances, mixtures, types of mixtures, etc. So are you ready? Let's start our class. This is a glass of water, plain water. Can you separate this water into smaller substances or simpler substance by any physical method? You know that water is H2O, hydrogen and oxygen gases combine together to form this water. Can you break down this water into hydrogen and oxygen by any physical method like evaporation or filtration or distillation like that? Definitely not. This is common salt. Common salt is sodium chloride. Can you separate this sodium chloride into sodium and chlorine by means of any physical method like evaporation or like any other physical method? No. So we can say that these two are pure substances. Then can you define what are pure substances? Pure substance is one which is made up of only one kind of particles. That means this water is a matter and it consists of that one type of particle, water itself. And common salt is sodium chloride and it consists of that single matter, sodium chloride. So we can say that this water or this common salt, these two are pure substances. Can you say some other examples for pure substances? Yes, gold. Gold is a pure substance. You know that gold is a metal and it consists of that pure gold. If it is a pure gold, then it consists of that single substance, gold only. So what is pure substance? Pure substance is one which is made up of only one kind of substance. Clear? Let's do another activity. This is a glass of water. This is common salt. Now I am going to add a small amount of this common salt into this water. Is this a pure substance now? Now it consists of two kinds of matter. One water and second matter is salt. Clear? That means two kinds of matter are mixed together in this glass. And we can call this as a mixture. So a mixture consists of two or more pure substances or two or more pure substances mixed together to form a mixture. So pure substances consist of only single kind of matter and mixture consists of two or more pure substances. So two or more pure substances mixed together to form a mixture. What will happen if I stir this mixture? Yes, this common salt or sodium chloride get dissolved in this water. So this is a mixture of water and salt. Let's do another activity. Now you know that mixture consists of two or more pure substance. Now I am going to make a mixture. take a glass of water and add some soil into it and stir it well. Now this is a mixture of water and soil. Then this is potassium permanganate. Now you are familiar with this compound potassium permanganate. I am going to add a small amount of this potassium permanganate into another glass of water. Is there any difference between these two mixtures? This mixture is formed by mixing water and soil, and this is prepared by mixing potassium permanganate and water. What is the difference between these two mixtures? Here, the mixture of potassium permanganate and water, you can see this purple color of potassium permanganate throughout this mixture, isn't it? That means this purple color of potassium permanganate is uniformly spread throughout this water. Or we can say that this potassium permanganate is mixed uniformly in this water. Clear? That means this mixture has uniform composition throughout. You can see this purple color everywhere in this mixture. Same color throughout this mixture, isn't it? Then what about this mixture? Mixture of this soil and water. Now you can observe that this soil settled down at the bottom of this water and this water comes to the top. That means this mixture separates out into soil and water. That means this is a non-uniform mixture, because here water came to the top and the soil particles settled at the bottom. That means it separates into two distinct parts, two physically distinct parts. At the bottom soil and at the top part water. That means it does not have uniform composition. It is separates into two kinds of matter. The first mixture, that is mixture of KMnO4, that is potassium permanganate and water, has uniform composition. Since this mixture has uniform composition, we can say this mixture as a homogeneous mixture. And here this mixture has non-uniform composition, because here you can observe that the soil settled down at the bottom and water comes to the top. That means this mixture separated out into two types of substances. That means it has non-uniform composition. And we can say this mixture as a heterogeneous mixture. So this is a homogeneous mixture and this is a heterogeneous mixture. So these are the two types of mixtures, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture has uniform composition and heterogeneous mixture has non-uniform composition. Can you say some more examples for these homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures? Yes. Mixture of salt and water mixture of sugar and water are homogeneous mixture, isn't it? Can you say another example for heterogeneous mixture? Mixture of oil and water. If we add oil on water, we can see that oil layer at the top of this water. So mixture of oil and water is also an example for heterogeneous mixture because it has no uniform composition. So which are the two types of mixtures? Yes, homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Homogeneous mixtures have uniform composition, but heterogeneous mixtures have non-uniform composition. Clear? So what are homogeneous mixtures? Mixtures having uniform composition throughout are known as homogeneous mixtures. Example, salt in water, potassium permanganate in water, sugar in water, etc. Then what is heterogeneous mixture? Mixtures having non-uniform composition throughout are called heterogeneous mixtures. Example, soil or sand in water, mixture of iron and sulfur. Iron particles are grey in color and the sulfur particles are yellow in color. When we mix these iron and sulfur particles, it has non-uniform composition. So mixture of iron and sulfur is an example for heterogeneous mixture. Clear? Let us do another activity. I am going to make a mixture. This is sugar. I am going to add this sugar into this water and stir it well. This is a mixture of sugar and water. What type of mixture is this? Is this a homogeneous mixture or heterogeneous mixture? Yes, it is very clear it is a homogeneous mixture. Why? Because this mixture has uniform composition. These sugar particles are dissolved uniformly throughout this water. So this is a homogeneous mixture. These homogeneous mixtures are usually called solutions. For example, mixture of this sugar and water is a solution. Mixture of salt and water, mixture of potassium permanganate and water. All these are solutions because all those mixtures are homogeneous mixture and those particles will dissolve in another particle completely. So we can say that all these are homogeneous mixtures and this homogeneous mixture is called solution. Clear? So this mixture is a solution. It is a solution of sugar and water. The solution consists of two components. First component is this sugar and second component is water, because this solution is formed by mixing this sugar in water. So which are the two components of a solution? Yes. In this solution, the two components are sugar and water. Which is the major component of this solution? Yes, water is the major component in which this sugar is dissolved and sugar is the minor component. So major component is water and minor component is sugar. The major component of a solution is called solvent and the minor component of a solution is called solute. So in sugar solution, sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. Solution of potassium permanganate and water, water is the solvent and potassium permanganate is the solute. Clear? So solute and solvent are the two components of a solution and the solution is a homogeneous mixture. Can you say what are the other properties of this solution? First property is this is a homogeneous mixture. Here I dissolved these sugar particles in water, or this solution is formed by mixing sugar in water. Can you see these sugar particles in this water now? No, you cannot see these sugar particles in water because it is dissolved in water, or we can say that it gets into the space between the particles of water that we have learned in our first chapter. So you cannot see these sugar particles in this solution. So that is the another property of this solution. Particles of solution cannot be seen by our naked eye. Why? Because the particle size is too small. The particle size is less than 1 nanometer. 1 nanometer is 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So the size of the particles in this solution is less than 1 nanometer in diameter. So you cannot observe particles of a solution by using our naked eye. Can you filter this solution? Definitely not. You cannot separate this water and sugar by using filtration method. That means particles cannot be filtered. That is another property of solution. What will happen if I keep this solution undisturbed for some time? Will the particles of water and sugar separate out? No. So that is the another property of solution. Particles cannot be separated if we keep this solution undisturbed for some time. That means the solution is a stable mixture. And if we pass light through this solution, the path of the light cannot be observed. That means solution will not scatter a beam of light passing through it. ഇതിലൂടെ ലൈറ്റിനെ പാസ് ചെയ്താൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ലൈറ്റിന്റെ ആ പാത്തിനെ ഒരിക്കലും ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. കാരണം സൊല്യൂഷൻ ഒരിക്കലും ലൈറ്റ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസിനെ സ്കാറ്റർ ചെയ്യത്തില്ല. So that is the another property of solution. Is the properties of solution. You know that solution is a homogeneous mixture of two substances. Then what are the components of solution? Yes, solute and solvent are the two components of solution. What is solvent? Yes, it is the major component of a solution, or we can say that it is the component of the solution that dissolves the other component in it. Then what is solute? Yes, it is the minor component. The component of the solution that is dissolved in the solvent is called the solute. For example, salt solution. In salt solution, water is the solvent and salt is the solute. Then what are the properties of this solution? The particles of solution are smaller than 1 nanometer. 1 nanometer means 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So the particle size is smaller than 1 nanometer in diameter. So these particles cannot be seen by naked eye. For example, salt solution or sugar solution. There we cannot see the particles of salt or sugar in water because the particle size is too small. Another property is we cannot separate the particles of solution by the process of filtration. For example, solution of KMnO4 or solution of sugar. There we cannot separate that potassium permanganate particles or sugar particles from water by the process of filtration. Why? Because the particle size is too small. So they can flow through that filter paper. Another property is the solute particles do not settle down when left undisturbed. That means if we keep this solution undisturbed for some time, that particles of solute will not settle down. So we can say that solution is stable. Another property is it does not scatter a beam of light passing through it. That is, path of the light is not visible. If we direct a beam of light through this solution, the path of the light is not visible. Why? Because the size of the particles of solution is too small, so these particles do not scatter a beam of light. So the path of the light is not visible. So all these are the properties of solution. Here are some examples of solution. The first example is sugar in water. You are familiar with this example. Here the solute is sugar and solvent is water. That means the minor component is sugar and the major component is water. Second example is tincture of iodine. This is not familiar to you. In tincture of iodine, solute is iodine and solvent is alcohol. That means iodine is dissolved in alcohol. That is tincture of iodine. Third example is soda water. In soda water, gas is the solute and water is the solvent. Here carbon dioxide gas is dissolved in water. Fourth example is air. Air is a mixture of two or more gases. So in air, both solute and solvent are gases. Another example is alloys. Alloys are mixtures of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. So here solute is metal and solvent is metal or non-metal. Examples are brass, bronze, etc. You are familiar with this bronze medal. It is a mixture of zinc and copper. So both are metals. Clear? So that's all for today. You should revise what we have learned today and refer your textbook also. Thank you.